My name is Oyebisi Oyeko. I am going to be taking the class tonight. We'll be looking at page object tonight. It's like a continuation from the training you had last night, which is about element locators. So can everyone see my screen?
Yes.
Yes, we
Okay.
can.
Yes, but nobody
Okay.
knows.
Sorry? Okay. Can you see it in slide mode? Because I'm using two screens.
Yes, we can.
Okay. All right. Thank you. All right. So I'm just going to go ahead with my slide. So like I said earlier on, we are going to be learning more about page objects. So I just prepared just few slides because really we have to do it on Visual Studio. So it's more of a practical session. Okay. So tonight we'll be looking at what is a page object, benefit of page object, and how do we use page objects in our automation. Okay. So yeah, what is a page object? As you can see from my screen, I have a definition of a page object here. A page object is an object-oriented class that serves as an interface to a page of your application under tests. That's what UAT means. The test then use the method of this page object class whenever they need to interact with the user interface of that page. So I'm just going to go to the benefits because this is just a basic thing we need to look at how it works in Visual Studio. So these are some of the benefits of using a page object in our test automation. So I've got here page object also as it assists QAs when enhancing the reusability and efficiency of your code. I will be going deeper into that when we are doing the practical aspect of this training. And then when you use a page object, can you please mute yourself?
Please, can you make the slides a bit bigger? It's small, I guess.
It's in a slide.
Yeah, it's not full.
It's not full. Okay, hold on. Maybe it's okay. Hold on. It's on the second screen. Okay, sorry. Let me just end it and then drag it. I don't know why it's displaying on my second screen. Okay, let me just disconnect my second screen for now. Is this better?
Thank you. Most
okay.
better.
All right. Okay. All right. So the second benefit I've got here is that there is a clean separation between your test code and the page specific code, such as locator. Like you've seen last night when Abolaji was taking the class on element locators, you will see the way he was arranging the test locators in the page object. So that's one of the benefits of page objects. I'm going to show you a snippet after this slide to see what I mean, to have a better understanding of what I mean. Okay, when you use a page object, there's a single repository for the services or operation the page offers, rather than having these services scattered throughout the tests. I'll also demonstrate it to you in a slide. I think someone's mic is unmuted and is giving it some background noises. Thank you. I think Olumide Ajala, can you please mute yourself? Thank you. Oh, Olawumi, can you please mute every other person, please? Okay. And the last benefit I have here is that if the user interface changes for the page, the test themselves does not change. Only the code within the page update needs to change. Subsequently, all changes to support that new UI are located in one place. So I'm just going to move on to the next slide. So what I've got here is exactly like what Bolaji taught you guys last night. You can see from here, this is my page object. Obviously, I've got tests, which is about contact us page. So you can see from here that this is from this private, where my cursor is here. I don't know if it's visible enough. These are the element locators. These are the element locators for the web page that we are working on. And then from here, these are my methods. And they are neatly arranged here. And then this is the test automation that has a page object. And next now, can you see the difference between what I just demonstrated, what I just showed you, and this one? So this is our automation that is not using page object. This is how it looks like. From here, you can see that this is your element locator. This is the element locator, driver.find element by, and then you also have it combined with your method. And if you can see, what's it called? This one, like yesterday in the class, you add your string, your username, and then you did all those things separate. It's not all together like as it is now. So that's the difference between you using a page object and you not using the page object. You can see the difference between this page and this other page here. So this is the end of the slide. So we have to go into our Visual Studio in order to continue with this training. So I'm just going to stop this slideshow. Yeah, okay. All right, before I move on, is there any question? So I guess a silence means everyone is okay.
Sorry, can I ask a question, please?
Go on.
Yes, the two ways that you've just showed now. You showed one whereby the method and the elements are together, and then you show where you have the elements separate, and then you have the method separate.
Mm-hmm.
So can we, which one, or which one is easy to manage when it comes to creating your framework?
Yeah, as you can see, it's here under the benefits here. Because the problem with this one is, let's assume that you have an application that has loads of features, and then you have all these written, like you have like 500 lines with this, and then maybe you need to make a code change or something, and you need to update it. Then you'll be looking through all these one after the other, and then try to like navigate to the particular one that is failing or the one that you need to update. But if you use this one, all you need to do is just go to the, okay, let me just go back to this one now. This is the test for login. And then what's it called? And then you have another test for contact us. You have this, everything is just modeled up. But if you need to like, maybe you are having an error, your code is throwing an exception or something, all you need to with this one is just go to the particular one. It's easy for you. I know initially you might not really like put this together, but trust me, as time goes on, you'll be able to like fix the puzzle. You'll be able to fix the jigsaw. You'll be able to like fix it, because I think they were not using the page object before. It was introduced after, and it makes more sense. Because for me as well, I think I saw some code. I cloned some code from GitHub, and then I can't understand the code. Because easily when you come to this place, to this one here, this particular one here, once you see an element, then a full name field, you know, okay, you are entering a full name field here. You are entering, you have to enter something. You're using this element locator for this one. It's also similar with the other one. It's just that everything is modeled up. Like this one, now this line, driver.find element by name, and then you string the name in here, and then you send key at the same time. That means you added the element locator, and then you're saying, okay, enter this username here. But here, you have this one here. This is the same thing. It's just that they are mixing their method and the element locator together. So this one, we have it separated, their private web element. And then for this particular one, full name, you can see this is the method for the full name. And then this is the element locator for the full name field. But for this one, you will see here is just one line, and then everything is just like in one go. For someone that is new into coding, you might not have an understanding of it. Is that okay? Is that clear enough?
Yes, thank you.
Okay, all right. So I'm just going to open my Visual Studio. I got to demo website that we can use to demonstrate this. So the first one, and by the way, you can get some, if you check on Google, you can find some test environments that you can practice your automation from. Okay. Okay, so we're going to use this environment for our practice code. This is just a demo site, like I'm saying, so it's just a basic login form. So manually, what I'm going to do is just to add something into it to log in. Tester. And then I click my login. So this is what, once I log in, this is what is on the landing page once I log in there. So now we're going to go to our Visual Studio. Although I have the steps written down here. So the first step is given that I navigate to this website, and that is what I have here is what I've just demonstrated. But for clarity's sake, I'm just going to do that again. So this is my first step, given I navigate to this URL. So this is the URL. Open another page. So I have navigated to the URL now, and then I enter my username. So I enter username, and then I'm stringing my username tester. So that's the username I want to use to log into the application. And then I enter my password. Is the same thing as here. And I enter my password, and I click sign in. So here as well, and I'm going to click sign in. And that's exactly what I did manually earlier on. So now we're just going to automate that. So now after I've written all my steps down here, so I'm just going to generate my step definition, and I'm sure all of us know how to generate our step definition by now. So I don't know if there's anyone on the call that doesn't understand how to generate their step definition. So silence means, yes, everyone knows how to generate their step definition.
Manually. Yeah, manually.
What do you mean by manually?
Recording sound. So it tells you what happened. It tells you what happened there.
Sorry, if you're not talking, can you please mute yourself? Okay, so I'm going to move on then. So I assume that everyone knows how to generate their step definition. So I'm just going to click anywhere here and then generate step. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to do is to click on generate. And we have to be very careful when we are trying to save our step definition, because by default, it's always set to features. And we don't want to set to save our step definition under our features. So what we do is click this arrow here and then select steps. Okay. So my step definition is going to be saving under steps. Okay. All right. So as we can see now, if you see where my cursor is, my step definition is stored under steps folder. If I had click save without checking that the folder structure what's it called? The one generated by default is feature. This step definition will be under this feature file, which I don't want it to be. Although, if you made a mistake doing that, you can easily drag it and then drop it here, and everything will be fine. But we just want to make sure that as a QA, we are attentive to details. Okay, so yeah, as you can see, all my steps is binding. Okay, so the next thing for me is to now create my page object. I already have my hooks. Everyone knows how to create their hooks. I have a hook for my project. So I'm just going to create a page object now. So I'm going to click on add, new, and then my page object is a class. So I'm going to save it as login page. And then I'm going to click add. So here I have my login page as displayed on the screen. Okay, so I'm just going to public class.
Please, I have a question.
Okay.
On the step definition, can't we just click on it and right click on it? So I create a new item and name it under class, like name it the login under the class inside the step definition.
Sorry, can you repeat that?
Okay. Click on the step, please. Right click on this, please. Add yes, new item. Yeah. So this thing has actually highlighted the class. So you now renaming the login on the class 1 on the name down. Yeah, can't we do like that?
Yeah, you can also do it like that. I think, let me see. Yeah, you can generate your step definition from here as well. Okay. You can create a class from here as well.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but because you're generating it now, so there's no point you generating doing it this way. I've not actually tried it to try to create it from here and then generate my step, but I doubt if the one I generate will be stored under this one that you created.
Okay, I get it.
Sorry?
No, I said I understand what you're saying.
Okay.
Thank you.
Welcome. Sorry. Okay. So I'm a public class, public high web driver. So I'm just going to hover my mouse on this one. Yeah. So I'm then going to select my using OpenQA Selenium so that it will stop whipping. And then and another thing you need to know here, like now, let me just go back. If you want to, if like I'm trying to create a class for public login page. So now it's the reason why it's whipping here is because it's expecting me to put something here. So if I don't put anything here now, then it will be throwing an error. As you can see from this place, it's showing that online login page, line 12, this is expected, that is expecting me to put a semicolon, but still is whipping because that's not the method I'm trying to create. That's not what is expecting me to add to it. So, and then I'm just going to do this one now. So you can see that the line is no longer there. And for some reason, if you try to add a curly braces and your curly braces, when you try to add it and it's only one that is coming up, then you know there is an error. So if your line of this method, if it's correct, then the two should pop up at the same time. Once you press the opening one, the two should come on, and then you can just press enter to start writing your codes. So here we go. So I'm going to hover my mouse on this as well, because I'm trying to call in my hooks. Already I have my hooks, which is called base test. So that's what I've got here. So I'm moving these two closing brackets down because I'm not going to need it for now, because this is for this class, this public class login page. So any method I'm going to be writing is going to be contained in this class login page. So, because sometimes maybe I mistakenly delete this one, then it will throw an error. And sometimes you might not even know where the error is, but as time goes on, you will be able to locate the error yourself. You feel, okay, there's something missing. Because now you can see that it's showing me that on line 23, there is end of the curly braces is expected. So I'm just going to put it back. So you can see the error is no longer showing. So let me just okay. So now this is the web page. So page object is about the application page, the web page that you're working on. Because let's assume that I have something like sorry. Maximize my screen. So this is another a URL, and this is my landing page. So on this landing page, I have my header, I have my main body, the main body of the web page, and then I have the footer. So I can decide like, okay, I want to create just a page object for this web page. So I can have my text that about home on that page, and I can have my rents on that page and then my for sale on that, because all of them are on this landing page. So I can use one page objects. I mean, one page object for all these automation. I can use one page objects. And also I can create a page for each of these features as well. And when, let's assume that I'm using this, I have a page object and I name it as landing page. So on this landing page, if I have a create a feature file for rent, and I generate my step definition, all I need to do is call in this page object into my step definition and it will bind, and then I'll be able to run my test successfully. So I'm just going to go back on my Visual Studio. Okay, so back to the URL we were using earlier on. Okay. Okay, so I'm going to now copy the elements of this web page. Can someone unmute themselves and then tell me how I need to do that from your last session, from the class you had last night?
Which do you want to copy, the username or the password?
We start with the username.
Right, so you just right click.
Okay. You are the navigator, so I'm just helping you to stay. Okay.
You go to inspect.
Okay.
Right, so depending on the element, if you want to copy CSS or if you want to copy XPath, so you just right click on the highlighted element.
Okay.
Then you copy the path. You go to copy. Yeah, so if you want to copy CSS selector, or if you want to copy the XPath.
Okay. Which one do you want me to copy?
Okay, go in for the selector.
Okay.
However, if you want to check if it's one of one, you can also paste it. You can press, is it F something, I think.
Control F.
Control F.
Okay. Okay. Thank you. So I think you've graduated already. You don't belong in this class. Thank you. Okay. All right. So, and I think Bolaji also showed us the selectors up, that we can also use that, but like he mentioned earlier on, it's not 100% accurate. So, but sometimes it's useful. So let me just copy that and check if it's the same thing. Yeah, you can see it's the same thing. So I'm just going to go back on my Visual Studio. Oh shit. So I'm now going to start writing my elements locator. So go private. So I think it is called username. It's very important as well to use name that is like similar, exactly, so that anyone that wants to like go reuse that locator, they will know what it is used for. Like anyone that comes in now will go. Let me just show you. Sorry, trying to grab something from my second screen. Okay, mere looking at these element locators, you will know that, okay, this locator is for to click on register. This is for first name. This is for last name. This is for email. It's for phone number. It's for confirmed password. It's quite straightforward and for other people to like understand. Okay, so I'm just going to return this. So you can imagine now, me now trying to like give these elements, the username input field a name, and then I'm giving it something like my first name or name or something. It's not related. Sometimes you'll be like, what does it mean? Which element is this pointing at? So it's very important as well to use the exact name of the element. So I'm going to just use. Sorry? So we're using by CSS selector. Another thing is here is if there is a mistake, if I, like now, I just deleted the equals to, the assignment sign. So if I just type by here, reason why it's not bringing out the CSS selector is because whatever I'm doing is wrong. So that's why it's not giving me the options to select my locator type, the element type here. So I'm just going to put that back. And then I type my by, and then you can see that it's giving me that option. So whenever you're trying to like write your line of code or something like that, and you notice that this is throwing error, or I'm expecting all these properties to be displayed, nothing is coming on there, you know. That's a trigger to know that whatever you're doing is wrong. So I'm just going to put my here. So and that's it. That's the method, or that's the element locator for this particular one. And then let me just do all the elements at once. Okay, so let me just copy the one for password. This, I don't really need to check if this is being used by more than one element here, because already I've got one here, so I'm not going to check it again, but for curiosity's sake, let me just check it again. You can see it's one of one as well. Private. And then copy the one for signing. Okay, for this line of code, I'm going to use another method that we can also use for our element locator. Okay, I'll use the iWeb elements. Sorry, let me just be sure that it's in the actual. And then that's the sign in. And let me just show something. You can see as I'm typing, it's showing that this is what is expected. It's expected that once I put my by.expert, it's expecting me to string the experts that I want to find. Oh, okay. I copied CSS. Sorry, let me just delete it. CSS. So it's giving me the option what is expected. Okay. Right. So that is that about, so can just grab my, okay. Can you see the difference between these two? So this is another way of writing our element locator. Okay, so but when I'm writing the method, you will see the difference, how it is being used in our method. And now I'll start with my methods now. So the first step is my first step is to navigate to. And I think like Bolaji mentioned last night, he used another method. It did not string the URL like I've just done here, but it will still work the same way the one he used last night worked. String my URL. So what's here, I'm going to state what I want the driver to do. So I want the driver to go to the URL that I've stringed in my login feature. So I'll have driver dot navigate. Go to URL. I want the driver to go to the URL, and then the URL that I've stringed. So I'm going to do that. So that's my method. And also, when the driver has navigated to the URL, another thing I want the driver to do is to manage my window. I want you to maximize my window. So here is a method for that. That's H. Maximize. Okay. So this is my method for the first step of my feature file. So given a navigate to. So in my page object now, I've written a method for that line. So it's navigate to website, and then I want the driver to do this. So I'm now going to go in my step definition now. So you have to remember that you have to write your method first before calling in your method into your step definition. So now what I'm going to do now is to call in my method into my step definition. So what I'm going to do here, the name of my page object, that is my page object is login page. So I'm going to do login page. And then I want to represent it as login page. And then use the assignment sign. In C#, the assignment sign, the equal sign is called assignment sign. So equals new. And then I want it to be login page. Okay. So what this means is that what is on the left side is the same thing as the right side. So when I keep referring back to last class, because people write their methods differently, and it will still pass because Bolaji had to like put the underscore in order to differentiate it. So in case you come across some people not using that underscore, it will still pass. And if some people use underscore as well, it's still the same thing. So I'm just going to ignore the underscore. So what I need to do now is to just add my using. Okay, so it's going to save. So now I've called in my page object. Let me just block this line first. So now I just want to do something here. Give public given I navigate to the string. In my page object, I string it as URL. So I will repeat that in my step as well. URL. And then now I'm going to call that method, this method that I've done here, that I've created the navigate to website. I'm going to call it in here. So I'm just going to delete this line, and then I will just put, let me just put, I have not called in my page object. So let me just put login page dot. See, it's not giving me the option that I wanted because I've done something wrong here. So I'm just going to do this. Duplicate. Ideally, it should have displayed this navigate to URL, the method in this drop down. This method, this navigate to website should have been displayed had it been this line is correct. So that's why it's at navigate to, let me just website. So sometimes you might notice that the method, that your step definition is not binding with your method. So you have to take a step back and check that, okay, what is it that I've done wrong? So the first pointer is once you click on dot and then it's not giving you any property or any available method that you've created, then you know something is wrong. So now I'm going to just delete this. I'm going to open this up, uncomment this. Okay, so I'm just going to put this login page. See, it's giving me that option now because I've got it created. So you can see now the difference now. This navigate to website is now displayed. To put my URL back in here. Okay, so that is how this works. So I'm just going to save it, and then I'm just going to clean my solution and rebuild it in case, because, sorry. Successfully cleaned and then build solution. Okay, so all I'll do is open this up till I get to my steps. So I'm just going to run that because it's a good practice to write your code, run it. Once you create a method and you bind that method, it's better that you run rather than writing all your method, binding it with your steps, and then your test is failing. It will be difficult sometimes for you to like debug to see where the test is failing. But if you are doing it one at a time, then it will be easy for you to know, okay, my line of code is failing, is not navigating to the URL. Then you should be able to debug it and resolve the reason why your code is throwing an exception. So, okay, just going to run this. Okay. So, yes, the reason why it's throwing all these amber is because of these steps, all these ones that are yet to be binded. So if I block these ones out, if I comment it out, yeah, if I rerun my test, it should pass because we've all seen it, the way it navigated to the URL. You've seen it, it's gone to the URL, but for some reason, why is it closing? I think I need to check. Okay, another way you can check why your test is failing is right click on this the test that is failing, although this is not failing, so it's something I think I need to comment out something. So I can open up the test log. And then, yes, because it's trying, you can see here, it's trying to run this line of code, but I've already blocked them out. So that's why. So you can see this first step, I navigate to, is showing as done. So that means that's passed. So let me go back to the page and then let me just put a yes, so that you can see what is actually happening. So I'm just going to run it in debug mode. Okay, so this is it now. So okay, so you'll be able to see what is going on. I'm not sure if it's so if I step into this now, so it's going to, where is it now? Okay, you can see now it has already opened this one. So if I step into the other one, yeah. So you can see now that it maximized the screen. So yeah, so that's for that. So I'm just going to continue to run my code. Yeah. Okay. So, yeah. Okay. So it's just because of these lines that I blocked out. Let me comment this. Okay. You can see now that the test is now passing because I've commented out all these ones that were making it to fail earlier on because I have the feature file. There is no method for it, and the step has already been blocked out. So that's why it was throwing that amber color. But once I blocked this, commented this one out, now my test is passing. So you can see now I have only one active line of code, which is given that I navigate to. And as you can see from the screen earlier on, it went to that screen, and that's where we are. So I'm just going to uncomment the other lines of code. And then the steps. Okay. Okay. Now we need let me take this out. So we've already copied out the element locator for our username and then for our password and the sign-in. So we're going to create a method. So can someone unmute and tell me how to create a method for inputting our username? Hello? Am I on my own ear?
No.
No.
So I hope everyone is getting what I'm trying to demonstrate and trying to like teach you guys, because your silence is making me to be scared as if everyone is lost.
No. We are following you.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
So do we have anyone that can tell me how to create a method for to input something in this field here, my username?
So is it like maybe public void?
Public void.
Okay.
Yeah, username.
Okay, what do I want to do with the username? What am I doing here? When I'm here, I'm here. So what am I doing?
Input.
Okay, enter
Yeah.
username. So I'm going to enter my username. Enter username. And then I'm going to string that as well, string it, because in our feature file, if you remember, we have it in string. So I'm going to string it here as well, string. So I'm just going to give it a name because I don't want to give it username again, and then it will, everything will just be all over the place. It will like, everything will be like same thing. If there's an error, sometimes you might not know how to pick the one that is making your code to fail. So I know I said earlier on that your object, your element locator should be named the same way as what you can find on the web page. That's fine, but in this one, you can give it anything to strict. You can parameter it with anything. So I'm just going to put name instead of username. You can use anything. It will still work fine.
Sorry, Dare, your call open, you don't disconnect me, but don't disconnect me.
Can you please mute yourself? So yeah, now I'm going to just do my driver dot find element. You can see as I'm typing it, it's giving me the available property, the available options. So that means I can use driver dot navigate, I can use driver dot switch to, I can use driver dot close, but I'm going to use the find element because I want to find this element username on that web page and then input the username inside it. So find element, then we go, you can see here, it's giving me the option as well to say, okay, there's something on this page that's called username. So you can see here, it's not giving me those purple properties like, or navigate to this because this is a different thing and this is my element to locate my element on that web page. So I'm going to just enter dots. You can see that is back now. So that is all the methods that I can use with this line of code. So I can use dot click dot find element dot anything, but here I want to use send keys because I want to input something into that field. So the name, what I want to input into that field is this name, is this one now. That's the string. So what this line means that, okay, driver, go on that URL, find the elements, username, and then send this key and then enter this name. Enter this name that I have stringed in my feature file in it. And that's it. So the next thing we have to do now, can someone tell me what's next I have to do?
Enter password.
You enter password.
No, okay, we can do that. We can do all our page
Yeah, you
method.
can go to the steps now.
Yeah, we can also do it this way. We can write all our method at once. It's fine. At least it's method. We are not binding it yet. But the batch practice to write your steps first before now going back in your page object. The ideal way to do it is write your method first and then go into your step to bind out your method. So let me just go back to this one and then here now. So can someone tell me what I need to put in here?
Name.
Okay,
Name.
thank you. I know you are following. I'm not on my own. Okay, so I'm just going to delete this because all these scenario context.current wherever are generated by default once you generate your step definition. So can someone tell me what I need to type in here?
Login page dot.
No, driver user. No, login page.
Enter
Okay.
username.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
So the username, you see, is giving me an option to say
Nin.
So, hold on, please.
Okay, then. Okay, Mom.
Sorry about that, guys. Yeah. Okay. So, yeah. So that's our method now, because it's not whipping, because we called in our method in here. Let's assume that I now put a username. Yeah. You can see that is underlining it's whipping to say, okay, the username does not exist in the current context. So then that is just a trigger to say, oh, there's something wrong. There's something I'm doing wrong. Then you need to take a step back and go and resolve that. So that is gone now. Okay, so now we can now run our test again. Let me block this again, else it will be showing error. So I'm going to, you can see now that the test is passing. If I open it, you can see before it was only this first one that was passing. Now it has entered the username, tester1. The parameter that we passed in it is tester1. So it has entered that. So, but let me just quickly do trying to, I think we can use, I'm trying to block this line of code so that you can see what it's doing. Okay, so I'm just trying to run it in debug mode so that you can again see how it's navigate there, and then it's inputting this in the username field. Because sometimes maybe you copied username field and then you end up putting the element locator in that of password. Maybe I made a mistake, and then instead of putting username, I now added password in here, then it will be throwing an error. So you can see now, this is where we are now. So if I then click to step into this, you can see now you have tester1 in here. So that's why that is passing. That means whatever we've done is right. So yeah, then I can continue running my tests so that it go off debug mode. So that is that's about this one now. Okay, so we can just quickly write the method for the other one. Public void enter password. So it will be driver dot find elements, and then I put my password in there. Dot send key, and then got ID string. Yes, so I can string new word. And this is it here. Okay, so I'll write the last method then. Driver. Oh, sorry. Public void. Click sign. So you can see like this line, this one here is different from these two. This element locator is different from these two. Like this iWeb element method is like combination of driver, because all this line you can see we are now calling our driver.find element here. This one already have this find element here. So the only thing you need to do here is just put the element locator then with the action like this one now. So if I, let me just do driver.find element, sign in, dot speak. I'll have an error because the method, how I wrote my element locator is different. So I can't use that method. So that's why it's giving me this. So it's saying sign in is not null here. So I'm going to delete that. All I need to do here is now type in that element and then what I want that element to do. Once it finds it, to click. And that's, so that's it for this one. So that's how you write it. So now we've written the remaining 2 steps. So I'm just going to write my, bind it to my step definition. Let me open this one. Close this one because we are not doing this yet. And then yeah. So this one now, so this one, the method for this one is login page dot enter password. That's it. Then and then I'm going to put my string in here, which is keyword. And then I need to change it here as well. Because if I don't change it here, whatever I have in here is different from here. It will always whip. It will always give me this error that something is expected. So it's just for you to like keep checking this place. Like this one is showing error CS1002. It's telling me that a semicolon is expected on which line in my step definition, login steps on line 28. So I can just go back there and see, oh, there's something missing here. Although that's not, the semicolon is not what I needed there. If I put the semicolon now, it will throw another, it will add to the error. You can see semicolon after method is not valid. So you have to be very careful when using all these parameter. So okay, so that's that for that as well. So I'm just going to run it in debug mode as well so that you can see how, oops, stop it. You won't be able to see it because I mistakenly pressed run instead of. Okay. Okay, it's because of this. That's why it's showing that. Password. So I'm just going to run this because anyway, because of our time. So let me just run this one and then we go to the last one. Then I can show you how the page works. Okay, so that is passing as well. You can see now we have our given done, enter pestle done, enter password done. So if I now go back to my login step, because we've already created a method for the remaining 2 steps for the click sign in here. So I'm going to open this up and then we just have our login page dot sign in, click sign in. So that's it. So this one, okay. So all right, so I'm just going to run Hold on, I don't think I've opened it yet. Yeah, I need to open it here. If not, it will fail. In debug mode again so that you can see. So you can see up to here now, it has entered our tester name, it has entered the password. So the next thing we want it to do is to click sign in. So once you click on the sign in, so if I click on continue, oops, it has already passed and left. So yeah, so this is it now. So everything is done. So up till here, is there any question before I go into the next one?
Yeah, you see, I just want to ask, can you automate like the fingerprint side of the password?
I don't let me say yes or no. I'm not sure about it. I've not come across that. So I don't know if I have any of my colleagues online that can confirm if that is true or not.
I've not come across it as well, BC. You don't know.
Okay, thank you.
It's Chika, don't know.
Okay, thanks, Chika. Okay, all right. So I get up to here, we are all okay. So for the next one now, this is just like a refresher. So for the next one now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this URL actually. So this next one I'm going to do is going to be a bit faster than what we've just done. So because I've taken you through the process, so I'm not going to start saying this is how I'm doing that. But if you have a question, feel free to come up and then say, oh, I have a question or something. Okay. So yeah, I'm just going to add a new feature file. So I'm going to be using this URL. So what I'm going to do is to try to create a feature file for this rent to click on this. Okay, let me use the footer. So I just want to create a page for this footer page. So I'm going to have one for privacy, terms and condition, and frequently asked question. So I'm going to rename it to footer.
I want to drink tea. Mommy.
Sorry, guys, please give me 2 minutes, please. Sorry about that, please. Okay, all right. So I'm just going to create my given that. So this is my method for to verify content. Okay, so I'm just going to bind it. Again, by default, it's on feature, so I have to make sure that it's saved under my footer. Okay. So I'm just going to create a page object. I'm just going to hover my mouse on this and then select my thing and then my hook. Okay, so I'm just going to go to the browser and then copy the elements of my terms and condition.
Sorry, BC.
Yeah.
I think there's one or two people that don't understand that they're still not grabbing the page object. They're sending me private DM. So I'm just telling them to try and ask you the question, like what exactly they don't understand.
That's fine, yeah. Or is it possible that they hold it to the end of this session? Because I'm just trying to like show them how you can use just one page for more than one feature.
Yeah,
But
that's
if they are happy to like come on now, they can ask while I'm typing this out. And I guess you guys are
that's what
on
I was
as
saying
well.
to her.
You guys are on as well. You can help out.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Now that it is a bit quieter, that you can pop question.
That's for sure. See, copy and pasting is allowed as long as you know how to maneuver it in order to minimize error.
Sorry, can I ask a question, please?
Okay, go on.
Yeah, my question is this: is it possible, just like I know you did at the beginning, is it possible for you to put all these steps that you do, like in a slide, so that we know every single step to take to do all these things? Because it gets to a point that it just I know obviously people want to talk, but it gets to a point where everything just it's confusing.
Okay, I think okay. Yeah, I can find time to do that because I haven't got that in my slide, but I can find time to put something together as to what to do when or which one needs to come first, and you understand?
Yeah.
Okay.
That will really help us because we are the one contacting Chika at the back.
Don't worry, Chika is your mentor. She can do something like that for you guys as well.
Okay. But we are kind of lost.
Oh, yeah, you see. Oh, yeah,
We
you
are
see.
Don't
lost right now.
don't be lost. That's why I kept asking, is everyone okay? So your silence means everyone is okay, everything is okay, you're getting it.
Maybe they know
but
what
guys,
Okay, now can someone tell me why this is having an error? Why this is weeping?
There's one bracket missing.
Okay. Okay, thank you. Okay, so that's the method for my, that's the element locator for my terms and conditions.
Spelling is not correct as well.
And see, it's going past my bedtime. So don't ignore me and my copy and pasting. Yeah, okay. I'm just going to, sorry. Because most of these things, they are like, or repetitive, like this line of, this method here, you always have it, you navigate to the URL and it's the same thing. So that's what I've got down here. And then once I get to the URL, what I want to do is public void. I want to click on, I want to scroll. Okay, public void, scroll, to the tab. So for you to scroll, there is a method for scroll. I think I got it somewhere. And this is the method for scrolling. Scroll down to the footer page. I'm just going to copy it. This one, you can have it as well. You can have it handy, put it in your wiki page so that you can reuse it anytime. So I'm just going to paste this here. So that's the next thing I'm going to do. And I think I have more than public voice, scroll to footer. This is wrong. Another thing you need to be careful about is white space in between your codes. So I've just cleared that off. So I'm going to write the last method, public class click terms and condition. And then I have my method for that. See, this is why I said if there's a mistake, that's why my terms and condition, there's a mistake somewhere, public void, because I put public class, that's why I mentioned earlier on, if something is wrong, you can see the two braces are not coming out together. So, yeah, So I'm just going to delete it and then make my correction here. It's supposed to be public void. And then here, and that's it there. So, and then I use the iWeb element. So it's terms and condition. Should I use a capital letter here? It's still acceptable. So. Dot click. So now what I'm going to do now, here, it's okay for you to write all your method at once. It's okay. But what is not okay is what's a bad practice is to write your method and then your step definition without running your tests, like I mentioned earlier on. So now I'm just going to go in my step definition for footer steps. So what I need to do in here, like I did earlier on, is to call in my page object into this step definition so that all my method will be binding. Because if I don't do that, any method that my step definition will not bind. So it will just be throwing an error. So what I'm going to do, like I did earlier on, is I'm going to call in my page object, which is the footer page, and then the one with small letter, page equals new, and then back to footer page, and then east, and then this one there. So I'm just going to hover my mouse on it to select this, and that's no longer whipping. So I'm going to, so this is my URL. So my first method here is to my footer page dot navigate to website, and then URL in there, and that's what will happen. So I'm just going to add this on here. So I need to clean my solution. So it might not pass because I have all these ones that have not written anything in it. So, but that's fine. I don't want to be going back and forth because of our timing as well. So as long as I am redirected to the URL, that's fine. And then I check, you can see now it has navigated to the URL. So that's passing, although it will show the amber because of all these methods. So I have a method, I created a method for my scrolling. So I will just call that method in. The method is called scroll to the footer. So here, all you just need, the step definition seems to be the easiest one because all you need to do once you call in your page object to it is just to be doing your footer page dot the method, and that's it. So I have my footer page dot scroll to the footer. You can see it's giving me that option. So I'm going to run that as well. This is the first one, just to check that the first one passed. See, the first one is done. So now I'm going to do that for this step as well. See, when I scroll to the footer, that is done as well. So the next one is, and I click on terms and conditions. So it will just be footer page dot click terms and conditions because that's the method I created for that step. Going to run it again.
So basically, you're calling the method from the page object into the step definition.
The step definition, yes. Because you cannot.
And then you use the name of the page object to actually be the first. So that you're saying go to this particular file, and then in this file, yes, locate this particular method.
Yes.
And then perform this action.
Yes. So like I was explaining earlier on in my slide, like this now is the landing page for this URL. This is the landing page. So I can have a web page, because when I open for rent, this is another page. When I open for sale, this is another page. If I open contacts, this is another page. So you can create a step definition, feature file, and page object for each of these page. But what if you have like 1 million or let's say 100 of pages on this one? Then you have to be creating one for each, of which you can use one page object. And just all you just need is to be calling that page object into all your steps. So that's what I'm going to be doing next now. So from this test now, so this, I don't know if you've seen it, the, what's it called? It's redirected. Let me see. Is this opening? Let me just put this here so that you can see that it redirected me to that page. Sorry, ignore me. So when I click, step into this now, step over. Do you want to continue? No. So you can see now, it has opened the terms and condition page for me. So tonight, I'm not going to do the assertion because I don't want us to delay. I want us to, we are particular about page object tonight. So I'm just going to leave this last one. So this is it. This, let me unblock. Stop debugging. So you use this debugging for maybe you've written your lines of code and then something is failing. So if you use this debugging, then you'll be able to like visualize where the test is failing. That's why, because Bolaji used the thread or slip yesterday so that it will slow it down so that you can see what is actually happening. I just like to use this one, like when you are debugging your code, so you actually see what is happening at each particular method, each step, each line of code. You'll be seeing what is happening. So I'm going to unblock this and then I'll just change this one. I'll block this because I don't need this one. I don't want us to, okay. So this one blocked as well. Okay, so the next thing I want to do on this page is to click on privacy policy. So let me just copy. So it's the same step. So I'm going to create.
Okay, so in the class, yeah, in the page object class, the reason why you are using public there is basically so that you can access it from any page.
Yes.
Okay, and then the void. What's the reason for the void?
It's not doing anything.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because if it's private, that means I won't be able to call it from another page. Yeah. So I'm just going to create a new item and then I need a feature file. So I'm going to create a feature file for privacy policy. So like the first one, I have the filter feature. So this is common to both. So I'm just going to copy this because when I'm on that website, what I do is I navigate to that website and I scroll to the footer. You can see that this is binding already. The reason why it's binding is because there's already a line of code for this, and there's already some binding these steps. That's why I don't need to do it again. So, but you see now that when I click and I click on privacy policy, and I click on privacy policy. So I'll just stop it there. So you can see this is not binding because this step, these two steps is common. It's the same thing here because when you go on the website, when you come here, you scroll down to the footer, you click here. You click here. It's the same thing for frequently asked questions as well. And I can use the same thing for this one as well because it's the same. The first two steps are the same. It might be different if I have to select something from this main body of the page. It might be different. But for this one, it's the same thing. I scroll down to the footer. So that's why the two lines of code is binding already, that I don't need to bind it again. So I'm just going to go, where's my page? Okay, so this is the only line that I need to bind. So I'm just going to generate a step definition for this one. So generate again, feature, I select my step definition. I want it stored there. So you can see it's generated, it's binding already. So I need to open my step definition. This is it now. So now I'm not going to create another page object for privacy policy. I'm going to be using this same one, this footer for privacy policy. Okay, so I'm going to the method now for this. We only need one method because we already have this method, which is common to both. Navigate to the URL, scroll to the footer. The first one is for terms and condition. And the one we're doing now is privacy policy. So I will just write a method for that privacy policy and bam, that's it. So you can imagine me now like trying to create another page object for this one. You know that it takes more time, and that time sometimes is not there for you to be doing that. So that's one of the benefits of page objects. So I will just create a method for this one, public. And then what I have up there, okay, I've not copied the elements. So I will just copy the elements for this. This one. Just this thing. Sometimes you can see this. This is what generates for me. I don't want any locator that's got HTTPS in it. I don't want that. So you can see this method here. This menu item. I have this menu item is for privacy policy. This one is for terms and conditions, and this one is for this. But the one that is generated for me is opening this up and then picking up this one. But I want to use this. So this is it here. Oh, yeah. So that's yes. Okay, let me use expert is showing an error. ID looks to be deleted. Okay, let me use this one. So I have my iWeb. Yes, I've got my elements locator there. So, and I have just created my method. So I'm just going to put the method line of code for my method. So it will be privacy policy dot click. Okay. So let me just add my click. I missed a click here. Okay. So now I will now go into my privacy policy step. So I'm going to now reuse calling my landing or my page object, which is the footer page. Again, footer.
You have 3 O's.
Yeah, I've seen it. Yeah, footer page. Correct it. Thank you. Okay. So all I need to do is this one, we always whip. So we need to use that with using method. So yeah. So this is it now. So that means I'm going to be using this page for my calling that method from that page, from this footer page. I'm going to be using it here to bind my step. So the only step you can see now, this step generated is only one because I already have 2, which has already been generated under my terms and conditions. So it's not going to repeat itself. So that's another advantage. It avoids repetition. So I'm just going to put my line of code here to say footer page dot click privacy and policy. And that's it. So I'm going to save. I'm going to clean my solution. Oops, unable to delete access to. Don't start this with me, please. I'm coming. Let me use my task manager. Okay, I think I have a test that was failing earlier on. I think this, you will always come across this. Once if you remember earlier on, we ran some tests that failed. So I still have that Chrome open somewhere. Where is it now? So I need to end that task in order for me to proceed. If I did not clean my solution, it won't be a problem. But because I cleaned my solution, that's why. Although I'll still have to do it later on because I should have something like Chrome. Where is it now? Selenium WebDriver.chrome. Selenium Web Automation Training file 94. Access system .p. Okay, let me just close this one. Where's my task manager? Okay, you can see. So this one, I need to end it.
Hello, excuse me.
Yes.
For some reason, my screen is dark. I can't see nothing.
Yeah, can you log out and then log back in?
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay. All right. So this should repeat solution. See, it's gone. So if you encounter that MSB 36081 or something, that's definitely what is going on. You have a test that you need to close. So this is my footer and this is the privacy policy. Privacy policies, the feature. All right, so I'm just going to run the test now. And see now. And then it's going to scroll down and then it's opened. Did anyone see it? Okay, you can see that it's the test passed. So let me open the log. You will see that at the end of the day, all those 3 steps are here, given that I log in, done, given that, but although we only add 1 step definition for it. So, and I'm reusing this same page. So you can decide that, okay, I want to separate it and then I want to reuse the page. All you just need to do is just be calling your page object into your step definition, and then your method will be binding. So if I do the last one now, let's say the last one, let me add one. This one is frequently asked question.
So we see all of these features, like the privacy policy and the terms and conditions, all of them has to be in the footer for you to reuse that footer page object, right?
No, it doesn't have to. You can, all you just need is to, wherever it is, you can call it in. You can, I don't want to use this one because it's a different, the first one I demonstrated is a different URL. So as long as the same web page or website or environment that you're using, it will be okay.
No, ABC, I think she meant, you know, when we do some from header and some from footer. I think that's what Chika is trying to find out. So
No,
if all the
okay.
features are from the footer, you can reuse them again within
Yeah, sure. And then another thing you can do is for all these features there, you can use landing page for everything here. You can use landing page because they are all on the landing page. Although something like contact that you have to fill a form, it will still work if you use it that way. But in my own opinion, I would just look for something like this that I have to navigate to, and then I have to start inputting email, doing this and that. I will create another page object for this.
Okay, that's exactly what I'm driving at. Because
Yeah.
You get it now. Thank you.
Yeah, because all this one is just like you just going in there to verify that they are the page opens. See, it's not, I'm not going to do any other thing there. But with the contactor, you can still use it as well. So let me just do the last one. We have 11 more minutes to go, and then I'll just do this one is FAQ, and then like the earlier one as well, the steps are the same thing. Feature are the same thing. Just going to. Do not copy and paste if you don't know how to use it, because sometimes copy and paste might give you like 24 hours. You can have sleepless nights with just one thing there if you miss something out. But if you're confident enough, you can do that. So like on the privacy policy feature as well, you can see this one is not because I copied it from there. If they are not on the same, it will not bind. Let me just do something here. If I should remove this now, you will see that the step is no longer going to bind. It doesn't mean if I can generate another step for this one, it will still work. If I generate another step for it now, it will still work. All it will do is like when I generate the step definition for it, I will have 2 steps. These 2 steps in my let me just do that. Generate step definition. So you can see it's just going to generate step definition for these 2 lines that are not binding yet. So let me just generate it. Again, I'm going to ensure that I store it in my steps, and that's it. So it's binding now. So if I open my FAQ steps, you can see now I have 2 steps instead of 1 that I had in my privacy policy, because I removed 2 in these on I navigate to. So I deleted the 2 to make it, to unbind it. And then I just generate another binding step for myself. So I will now create, I'm not going to create a page object as well. So I will reuse this again. So with this one now, it won't work because I have to, that means I'll have, okay, anyway, I think it should work with, given that navigate to website here. So then my step will be public void click FAQ, and then this of 6. It's throwing an error because it's not expecting me to add that semicolon, because I'm trying to write a method. So I need to go on the browser and then copy the element of my frequently asked question. Again, it's pointing me to this HTTPS. I don't want that. This is the same thing as this. So you can see it's still pointing to the frequently asked question. One. Don't go there yet. Okay. So as long as you check here, and then is like, you can see that this element here is selected, then you should be okay. So here again, let me use the private by element for this one. So my method now, I will use this one will be different from the previous one. So it will be driver dot find element, and then my frequently asked question, Ctrl Z. Dots, click, and that's it. Okay, so I will now go to my method, or to my step, frequently asked question step. So I'm going to, because I didn't, this one is, I unbind this one and I regenerated the step definition for it. So I need a step because already is here. So I need to create a step for it. Oh, so yeah, so I need to only my page object, footer page. So like before as well, I will just hover my mouse on it and it will give me this option to find it. So yeah, I need stringing, and because I stringed my URL as well, so I need to put my URL in here. And then I need to do footer page dot navigate to website. Then, so I'm just going to check URL. Okay, so going to, do I have any error? Going to, I think I should be able to run my code from my test from here instead of cleaning it. So this is my frequently asked question, and I'm running it. So okay, the reason why it's in amber again is because I have not done the next step, given when I scroll, and then the last one is to click on the frequently asked question. But so I go back to my steps. Okay, so I'm now going to write my method or step footer page. Let's click. Do I have a method for my click frequently asked question? You can see it's here. So it's redirected to, supposed to use the debug mode so that you can see it. Okay, so let me run it in debug mode. So it's passing as well. So debug test so that you'll be able to see it. Okay, so that's enough. Okay. So this is the web page now. So the next step, once I click, I step into it or continue. Let me just use step into it. It will, you can see now as I click on this arrow down, it's called step into when you're debugging. Like I mentioned earlier on, once you click this, it will come inside this method, and then it will be going inside it one after the other. And that is when you have an error, your code is failing or something, you can use that to verify the exact area or the exact line of code where the issue is. Because sometimes if you run it, you might not know the exact, we just notice that your test is failing. So if you use the debug mode, then you step into it, because this is just like one line of code. It's not going to make any, you won't be able to actually see how this debugging works properly. So I'm just going to step into it. So you can see now, let me just open it now. This is it. So if I this is step into. So I'm going to use this one to step over. You can see that it moved from this line 45. It's now in this line 46, and that is what the action that is going to, the step, what is going to run now. So now, this is it now. So it will, sorry, I can't split my, so it's come out of that now. It went into frequently asked question, you can see. So, and then now it's here. There's nothing here anyway, it's just the close of the method. So I step out of it, then it comes back to the step here, and then you can see, and that's it. That's the last one. Click on last, and that's it. And then, yeah. So that's just it. So as a bonus, I can just do the assertion. Bolaji did an assertion using the URL yesterday. So I don't, let me just do an assertion using something else, like, okay, this terms and condition, where is it? The terms and condition footer feature. Is everyone still awake or everyone has slept? Because the class is too quiet now. Everyone is
We are listening to you.
Okay.
The steps are
okay,
too
I hope
many.
I'm not giving you failure
The
5 to start
steps are
sleeping.
beating us to keep quiet.
Please, can I ask a question?
Okay.
What does it mean to throw weights on page object?
To throw weight means, like, as the sound is like weight. Because sometimes, like when I was running it earlier on, you can't see, you just notice that the URL opened and then pop, it just closed again. You didn't see anything.
Is it the stringing?
The what? String?
The string.
No,
Yeah,
no,
string.
no, no,
okay.
no. It's not the string. Sometimes maybe you are running a test and then you notice that sometimes you run it, it's failing. But when you like add a weight to it, sometimes maybe let's say, sometimes if your internet connection is slow or something, and then you want the web driver to come on this page and click on Lagos, and it's taking longer than necessary, it will fail because it wants to come here and then click terms and condition. So once you notice that, you can then add a wait to it to say, okay, once you get there, wait for 10 minutes. Oh, I said 10 minutes, 300 milliseconds or something. And then it will wait for that before moving on to the next step, before it starts failing. So then you will know that, okay, it's because maybe the element there is taking longer to interact with the element there. So that's why it is failing. These are the things that you common exception that you will find when you're doing your automation. So once you notice that that is the problem, you can just add a weight to your line of code. So if you go on Selenium, I think they have something on weights. Selenium, on the Selenium website is what they have explicit. There's something they call explicit weight and implicit weight. So you can make use of this as well. Let me see. Okay. So you can see it. So you have, I think it's 3 fluent weight, 3 types. If I'm right, explicit weight are available to client for imperative things. They allow your code to halt a program execution. Look at what this is, just what I just explained in layman's language. Can you please mute yourself? Yeah. They allow your code to halt program execution or freeze the thread until the condition you pass it resolves. The condition is called with a certain frequency, which until the timeout of the wait is elapsed. This means that for as long as the condition returns a false value, it will keep trying and waiting. So you can, if you look at this website, they have a lot of resources there that you can use. So that's how the weight. There's is explicit, there is implicit weight, and then I think there's fluent weight. Yes.
So at BC, I was going to ask, when at what point do you call these weights? Like instead of using the trade or sleep, do you now write the code? Because I know the code. Do you write the codes and replace it with the trade or sleep, or you just put it in your hooks?
No,
and it will detect it.
I think if it's your web driver that is taking longer, I think that is when you add it to your hooks, if I'm correct. But if it's a certain line of code that is failing, you add it to that particular one. I think that's the difference between the explicit and implicit. See this one now. Okay, look at this one now. Yeah, I think there is a second type of weight which is distinct from explicit. We call implicit. By implicit weighting, web driver pulls the DOM for a certain duration. That means on that particular line, that element locator, you want it to pause. Okay, click on username, or maybe like something like you're trying to you enter your username, you enter your password, and then you're signing in. Maybe it's taking longer. Then you can introduce that weight on that particular line, not for all the codes. But I think the explicit, you can introduce it anyway to work for all the codes. I'm not really sure about it, but you can use this to learn more about the weight, how the weight work. Because what I heard is that the trade or sleep is not a good practice to be used. It's not a good practice to be using. So sometimes when you are running your codes, it might make it to be failing because there are lots of thread or sleep here and there. So I think that is that.
Thread or sleep can make computer to wait for long.
Yes. Thank you for bailing me out.
Yeah,
okay.
Okay, I think I saw on the implicit weight that you showed us just now. I think I saw a code that was written on the hooks for the Chrome.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, you can use I'm coming. Let me just open that way, and then I'm going to look for my when I did my own. Okay, go ahead and look at that. I'm just trying to check something out on when I was doing my internship. I think I have something written down because I was on this same hot seat last year as you guys. So don't be afraid. Wow. Don't be afraid.
Wow.
Okay. Yeah. When
we have you. We will never be afraid. We have
when you. I was let me just tell you a joke. When I was in university, I did computer science, and you know the way it works back home. You'll be doing computer science, you won't even practice on any computer. So we are just writing our codes on paper. And we did this test in class on, I think, COBOL or Pascal. I can't remember the language. And the lecturer gave me -20. I was like, am I that bad for me to have -20? So that means exactly. So I'm just asking myself, how am I going to pay that back? Because it's very sure that the next one I will do, I will still fail it. But look at me today. I'm confident. I'm not there yet, but I'm confident. That's why I'm here tonight to teach you about this page object. So don't think you can't do it. And forget about my computer science background. Forget about it. There are more people that have no knowledge of computing and they are doing well. So don't be put off by automation. Just take it one step at a time. Don't look at the bigger picture. Take it as one step at a time. If you know you're struggling, you have a lot of resources here in Blue Sky Citadel, make good use of it. Tap into it. Don't suffer in silence. So that's what I have to say. I think we are good to call it a day today. But if there's any question, okay, go ahead.
ABC is Kwame.
Hey, that's my tutor. That was my.
Welcome, boss. Welcome, boss.
That's my mentor. I'm here today because
I hope it was not the one gave you -20.
Yes, I'm supervising. I'm supervising her. Her senior lecturer is here. So yeah, she is right. she did it last year, and she was under our tutelage, and she did it well. I'm impressed how she's broken down everything. I remember she told me she wanted to be a mentor. Yeah. Well done. Well done.
Olabanji, can you mute,
Kwame.
please? Olabanji, can you mute? Can we mute ourselves, please? Can we mute?
Thank you.
Wow.
Okay.
Nice one.
So do we have any other question?
Are you coming to teach us again?
So it depends.
Please, I have a question.
Okay.
Concerning all the semicolon, the curly bracket, the bracket, are we going to master them, or are we going to have a format for it and we'll copy and paste and put in our listen to it? You understand what I'm trying to say?
Okay, let me put it this way. As you can see, I think I mentioned it earlier on that if you don't know how to copy and paste, don't even bother, because sometimes you copy and paste things and then it will go wrong. 24 hours, you're still there, and then someone will just come and look at it and say, oh, this is somewhere, this code, this comma is not supposed to be where it is, or this element is not supposed where to be where, and then that would be that you would have been on it for like hours trying to like find out why your code was failing. So with the what's it called, with your semicolon, your comma, I think another website you can look at is W3 School.
Okay.
So W3 School as well. You can just look for their tutorials. They have loads of resources as well. Look at it. You can learn C#. So this is from basic. Look at it, the introduction. You can see, you see all those syntax, how to use your syntax, how to use everything. So, but you know that, you always have to use that semicolon as the end of your statement. You input that bracket. But as time goes on, you will get to start understanding. That's why I said, don't look at the bigger picture. Try to take it one step at a time. If you are able to like just write your line of code to navigate to a URL, you've done well. Then the next time you do something else, and then just take it and just look at it that, okay, what's the difference between this one that they did last time? Like I was saying earlier on, I still have my Blue Sky when I was doing my internship. I still have my framework and I still refer back to it up till today. I still refer back to it today. You can see it. I've got it here. Look at it here. I have my Blue Sky project. This is it. So I still have it here and I'm still using, even at work now. By the way, I'm working now as an automation tester. So look at it here. So anytime I'm stuck, I will just come back and look at it. Okay, well, how did we do our scroll? How did we do our select? How did we do this? How did we do that?
I think I get it now.
Yes, so like the hooks, once you have that one hook, you can copy it and paste it, create another project, copy the hooks, paste it there. The hooks is always the same, but you have to be mindful when copying it and the names, because if your the name of your project might be different from the one you are newly creating, so that might make it to fail. But once you master it, trust me, you will be okay. You don't even need to do anything with your hooks again. You know your hook is a done deal. Create your class for your hooks. Just paste whatever you got. Just paste it there. That's the one. That one is done. And then the second one, just open what's it called? Your page object. Look at the similarities. Look at it now. Let me just close this so that my screen. You can see the similarities with this is it. This is the same thing. This is a framework page object. Look at the page object, it's the same. This line 12 and line 16 is always the same. The only thing that we changed here is the name you calling your page object.
The login page.
Like the login page. Look at this one, is a switch cases page.
Yeah, the page.
So these are the things you need to be mindful of. So once you generate, let me just generate one like this now. Once you generate a page object, add New item. And class, let me just leave it at class. So you can see, once you have something like this, you can see framework assignments. Let me see if I can place it on each other. Okay, look at it now. This is the only difference here is the frame. This one, the name of my project is framework assignment. This one is called Blue Skies project. So when you are creating another one, make sure that you don't copy from here. Copy everything. Don't do Control A and select all. I will advise that you just look at your code, and the one you got, just look at this line 10, public class registration page. What's your own page name called? This one is called class. Then you look at the next one. Okay, public iWebDriver is common to everything. It's common. So just copy it. Look for where exact place they pasted it on this one. Go and look for it. Paste
line
it.
12.
Line 12, exactly. It might not be line 12 because look at this one. You have your using one, so you all you're using directly. You only got 3 here. Here you've got 6. So it might not fall on line 12. But as you're adding those steps into it, it will underline and it will ask you to add the using. So once you had the using, then you have something else. Although some of these uses are not, they are not used. They are just unnecessary. Look at it now. It's telling me remove using directions is unnecessary. So they are not used. They are just dumb, and then sometimes you can clean it up. So that is it. So you just copy this one as well, paste it there, and then you look at your step. Like, okay, this is my step for. Let me look for another step. So look at it now. This step now. What was I doing with the ones I was doing before? I was calling my page object. You can see this one. I called in 2 page objects into this particular step. The ones I've shown you earlier on, I only called in 1 page object, and it still worked.
So I was going to ask you, can you add more? Because when you were talking about the footer page and stuff like that, I was wondering, so if you're writing something, a code, and then it's in a different page object, can you call like more than 1 page object in your step definition?
Yeah.
Ah, I see.
So you can see, so as long as you call it in, you just go do your step and then use it, pump, and that's it. So like this one, you know that, okay, in your head, maybe you write it down that once I generate my step definition, I have to call in my page object. And my page object, the reason why I always remember, that's the only one I don't copy and paste, because I know that at the top of this line 16, where I have my given, the first line of my step here, I always have to have my page object. I'll call it my my page object here. So that's one thing I always do. So one thing you can always do is like once you generate your step definition, just go on that one, call in your page object in there. Just use this one, just change it. This one got capital, this one got small letter, and then the representative is the same thing. It's just that you'll be changing the names of the page object. Because this is email validation page, and the ones we've been doing before. Look at this one now. If I go on to this another step, let me see these ones that we've done, frequently asked questions. So look at this one now, footer page, new. So if you create a contact page, just change it, contact page. One should start with capital, another one should start with small letter and then capital, and that's it. As long as the page object you are calling is exacting, it will not throw an exception, it will not throw an error. So just try to like start mastering it. And then I think there is something called the cheat sheet. I was trying to look for it earlier, and someone shared it with us during our own time. So, and also if you have
it's been shared just now. Kwame has just shared it here.
With them. Oh, thank you, Kwame. Yeah, so you can see all the methods that you can use there. This is no brainer sometimes, but you know, it's just first thing is don't just let that fear, get it out of the way. I know when it comes to automation, that's when a lot of people, you won't hear them again in class, because a lot of people always struggle. But trust me, you are in the right place. A lot of us have testimonies. I've done
manual testing before, or what's it called, the training before. I just sat on it, and I think I told Digison one day that if I had got a job that time, I would have broken their system because I didn't actually understand deeply what I was doing. I would have broken their system. They would have said this one is just something else, you know. So just reuse it, use all those things, and then you will be fine. And then you go online as well. There are places like what's it called now? Forgotten, that you can find like, okay, how do I assert?
Oh, like ChatGPT, right? Like ChatGPT, like the AI.
Yeah, okay. I don't even know that. I think recently I found something like that ChatGPT, like this. Okay, Stack Overflow. You can see how to assert in Selenium test case for login success. Just come here. You will see someone write a line of code that is related to what you've written. You will surely find something. And then you've got the resources here as well. Just reach out. You've got QA mentors in your squad. Just reach out. Oh, I'm struggling with this. You will see someone that will jump on the call with you and then say, okay, let's do it. Let's do this. Let's do that. So like this one now, you've seen it. How do you assert? So this will like tell, oh, there's something like I'm missing out or something that I've done, like the scroll method. We didn't know it before. It was during one of our class and then someone did this. And this select method, this is a select method. I have it here because anytime I want to use it, I will just come back here, copy it, and then just change. Another thing, if you are copying it, you need to know how to copy properly and modify it. Because if you made a mistake, maybe like, let's assume that like this one, I've got public voice select 5 from age group. This is the actual method to do selection. But here, this is my element locator. Definitely, I might not be selecting age in my code. So I need to change this to whatever I'm using. So, and this 5 as well, you need to change it. So that's how to reuse it. So I have it here. I can easily reuse like this scroll method. Once you just have your public view and scroll wherever here, then just dump this one in there and it will scroll.
Okay.
So yeah. So I think we should call it a day.
I'll prefer you guys learn to type now. Most of the
yes
objects and commands. Over time, you know that this one, let me copy it because you understand the code, what it's doing, then you copy. But as you are typing, it helps you to resolve what you are learning and what you are doing to try to understand it. So if you are creating the object in your step definition, although you can copy the class, just type it. And one thing is that once you are typing it and you make a mistake, you leave a semicolon, you see a regular red line, which will point you to that what you are doing, there's an error. So you pause there and trying to see why now you are seeing error in your code so that you can do it. Because if you copy like 3 or 4 lines and you paste it and there's an error, you wouldn't know where that error is started from or is ending. You get it. So for now, for your first few weeks that you are automating your on your project, just try and type as much as possible. Then later on, you will notice that you just don't need to type some things. You just copy those things that you need.
Thank you, Kwame.
So OEBC, so with what you just taught us tonight, if we are able to do it, can we clone it into our GitHub account and like show it as our work, or is it too basic?
It's too busy, as in.
Is it too basic? Like, is it too basic?
No, it's not. It's not. You can also use the URL. I will share the URL with you. You can reuse the URL for the first one, the login. Maybe you start from those basic one first.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. So I will share the URL with you. Yeah. It's not.
Hello. Yeah. Sorry. What is bool for again?
Bool means like true or false.
Okay.
Boolean, true or false. Okay, so I think we should end the class now. Thank you everyone for joining. And see you soon.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Yeah, bye everyone.
Thank you,
Thank you.
BC. Thank you so much.
Thank
You're
you.
welcome.